We are inspiring. Our ideas are great.
Today on the program, we will be talking about the General Manager of the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, which is the agro-industrial establishment in West Africa, the second employer in Cameroon. The Cameroon Development Corporation goes beyond just playing an economic role. It also plays the role of a developer. Henry Njalla Quan has been the General Manager for 12 years. Is he thinking about retirement? How productively and financially healthy is the CDC? The city of Limbe is 152 years old, and for 7 years it has been without a paramount chief. How long will it take for a new successor to be enthroned? Before we begin our discussion, we are going to take a look at the activities of the Cameroon Development Corporation. The Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, is the largest agro-industrial establishment in West Africa and second employer in Cameroon after the government. The CDC grows, processes, and markets tropical export products, and it operates in Cameroon and Central Africa sub-region. The CDC, the Cameroon Development Corporation, is involved in industrial agriculture, which is certainly not an urban vocation, but a rural one, and as it expands, land management becomes important and complex. At Le Pavillon de Bercy in Paris, France, a 100% Cameroonian product, Makossa banana, and the emergence of an ultra-modern oil mill in Ilioni was launched by the CDC, not to mention the additional planting of palms and rubber in De Bois and Matuke respectively. This multi-development project is a 5-year plan which will make life better for CDC. The 5-year plan, which is intended to cover all aspects of the corporation, is estimated at a whopping sum of 17.4 billion francs CFA and will run for an additional 6 years for all trees to mature. Other testimonies of the corporation leaping high includes efforts to maintain a healthy workforce by emphasizing on environmental health care for the general good of workers. Mr. Henry Njalla Quan, thank you for accepting my invitation.
Thank you. You're welcome here.
You know, when we come to your office, the first thing you see is time is money. Go straight to the point. Please, any problem, what solution do you propose yourself? Any ideas to help the CDC to make money? Is that how it operates here?
I believe so. Here we run an open door policy. It is a very participatory type of job we're doing. Our job is open. We are doing a lot of field work and a lot of engineering work, and we believe in teamwork. And so definitely when you're working in a team, don't introduce subjects that can be abstract, which will take you away from what you're doing. Or if somebody comes here to see me, he should go straight to the point because I have a lot of things to do.
Okay.
I have other people to attend to. And if you're coming with your problem, come with also, help me with a sort of solution. What do you think about the problem? Maybe what you think about it can be developed between us, and it comes out to be a solution.
And you need to make money, not spend money.
Yeah, no. We make money. We justifiably make money and we justifiably spend money. But for a sustainable corporation like this, we must make more money than we're spending. And so we are interested in knowing how to make more money, because how to spend the money we do know, how much we spend we do know, but we have to put a filter on expenditure, otherwise we will not be doing fine.
You have a management conference that is currently going on, which used to be formerly the management meeting. What is the difference and what is it all about?
When I came in, I introduced a biannual meeting of all management staff, everybody from category 10 to 12. Because it is necessary for everybody to know what is happening in the house.
Okay. And
necessary also to get opinion from other management staff who may not be in top positions, but who are ripe to be in top positions. A general manager is anybody from category 10 to 12. It can even be less depending on the type of corporation. And so, and because we are so widespread that it is not possible for some workers to meet themselves even after 6 months.
Exactly.
So we besides communicating with telephone, telex, fax, whatever, we meet twice a year to talk about the cooperation, and handle problems, and treat subjects of common interest. And it also permits management staff to interact.
Okay.
This time around, we're innovating. We wanted to take a form of a conference so that it should be more participatory. We're going to break up into subcommittees. Each committee will be treating an important subject matter, which has to do with the cooperation. Because resolutions and recommendations from the commissions may end up being, procedures and instructions from head office.
You've been the general manager of the Cameroon Development Corporation for 12 years.
Yes.
And before that, you were working for the company. How long have you been working for this company?
For this company? Well, for the time you spoke about, 12 years.
12 years you were a general manager. You had a senior, managerial position.
I was not in the CDC. Yeah, I started my professional life in Cameroon in 1975, and I came back from school and I was employed in the National Post Authority. Yes, from Sierra Leone, and I got into Post Authority. After a while, I was sent back to school by my corporation, on the corporation scholarship, and then 22 or so years afterwards, I was sent to Limbe Urban Council as government delegate. And 2 years after that, I was sent here.
Okay. Is it true that you're one of the offsprings of the many black Africans whose ancestry can be traced to Sierra Leone, Fernando Po, currently Equatorial Guinea?
No, I'm a Bimbia man.
Okay.
I'm a Bimbia man.
That's a singularity with most people living in Limbe.
Well, I'm a Bimbia man. Bimbia is one of the tribes in Fako Division, and we are descendants from Aquanor. But I am not a historian, and so taking me into history would not be giving me enough time to answer other professional questions. But I'm a Bimbia man, I'm a Subu man.
Why do many people describe you as a political activist and an opportunist?
I've never heard that before. I don't know since when I became an activist. I've never been a political activist.
An opportunist, maybe?
I've never been an opportunist. I have never been an opportunist. I don't know what you call an opportunist. An opportunist, in my own basic layman's definition, is somebody who usurps someone else's position. Okay? So I've never found myself writing any entrance examination somewhere and then going into gossip to take the place of the first person. So I don't know for how long you've had that word or that opinion about me. Political activists also, I don't know what is meant about. I've never been source of any rebellion, revolution, strikes, or whatever. Where does political activism come in?
You've been a general manager for the Cameroon Development Corporation for 12 years. How do you count on the successes of this corporation?
I cannot enumerate the successes of the corporation. We're in activity. We're working. We're following our business plans. My aim is not to open a logbook of successes. If we've succeeded, I am one out of 21,000 workers. And so I cannot claim the success alone. In fact, it is when we meet and we take a look at what we've done that we can see where we failed, where we faltered, and where we tried to do something good. But what we try to do here, and what I try to tell my colleagues, fellow workers in CDC, is we should try to strive for excellence. Excellence is a destination which will never be attained anyway, because things get better or worse every day. But we should strive for the better. And so it is for you and the user and the owner of CDC to enumerate if we've succeeded or if we failed. But we try to keep up going.
What about the multifaceted program, which covers 2007-2012? How much of that scheme has been achieved already?
No, we function on a 5-year development plan. And the best plan is a flexible plan.
How flexible is that one?
You can plan to move from point A to point B and meet an obstacle. If you don't have an option to circumnavigate your obstacles or negotiate the obstacles, you'll never get to your destination. So we function on 5-year development plans. We look at all our sectors, from workers' comfort to machinery to factories to farms, everything that concerns the corporation. And we put it in a 5-year span. And the budget for a particular year is an extract from the 5-year plan. When you're drawing the budget for, say, year 2, you take stock of year 1. And what you did not complete in year 1 takes priority unless there's a change of opinion or option. So what you could not complete in year 1 takes priority over year 2. And so you can adjust your plan to meet up. Also, along the road, you come across economic crisis, like the one that we had last year, which brought everybody down to their knees. And
How will it affect the CDC and its 5-year plan?
No, definitely. I mean, the simple thing is this: if you go to the stream with a 10-liter jug to carry water, and you find that the stream is dry, and it is drying up, and you can only pick up 3 liters, you come back home with the 3 liters and manage your family with the 3 liters. So whenever these changes take place, because we monitor the world economy, we are always on the news, we're always looking at the financial news and the rest, and whenever we can predict what is predictable, we try to adjust. But sometimes you can't predict. It comes, like a blow. Sometimes in the banana sector, for example, when we have a hurricane, it takes down thousands of plants, and of course you can't do anything against that. Can't do anything about it. You only rehabilitate after the incident, and you keep on going.
Just how much was the CDC affected during the financial meltdown?
I definitely, but I will not give you figures here. Why I cannot give you figures here is because I don't have the memory in my head to keep all those figures, and I don't work alone. But we definitely had problems. We had serious problems. It slowed down our activity. It generated some losses anyway. But we adjusted. We appealed to staff to work harder. We explained everything to our staff. But we tried as much as possible not to lay off workers and not to delay salaries. And so we kept our ship afloat. And
more people were employed during that season of the crisis?
I beg your pardon?
Did you employ more people?
We did.
2,000 people in spite of what the CDC was going through?
We employed over 1,000 people because it was necessary to. It was necessary to.
It's quite paradoxical.
Well, listen, it may be paradoxical, but listen, we had engaged in a process. And if we stopped at that time, it would have been worse than now. And so we had to pick up the people, and we hope that by next year we shall be reaping the benefits of the sacrifices we made last year.
You had one time, reiterated the commitment to build about 2,000 houses for the CDC workers, given the fact that the ones they were living in dilapidated and eyesore. Did you keep that promise?
Well, who can build 2,000 houses in one day? I said that let me tell you first, I don't believe in events. I believe in processes. When I say that we've got to build not 2,000 houses, by the time I was saying it, we needed about 5,000 housing units. Now we need more because we're expanding. When you should try to situate CDC in the southwest and northwest region. And if it were on a chessboard, take off CDC. And imagine what would happen. And when you want to talk about CDC, ask maybe your parents or those who are much older than you are. There's hardly anybody before the 60s in this country who hadn't tasted of the effects, positive effects of CDC. CDC had the railway line between Tico, whatever. They had hospitals, they had schools. CDC was operating the port. And so I think CDC has always been, and it will always be, a strong economic point. We are close to 21,000
21,000.
And so it's an important institution or enterprise. And if you can have a feeling of how much importance it has, both to the government, the economy, and to the people, anybody working here should be motivated by the fact that he has responsibility over the livelihood of very many Cameroonians.
And how motivated are your workers, the workers of the Cameroon Development Corporation?
Well, their motivation
Do they feel like coming to work every day?
Well, they work every day. If, like you said before, the success of cities, I don't know about successes, but the mere fact that they're here and they're coming every day and the numbers are growing and we're building new houses, as you said, it means that they're interested in the work. I could say this for them. And of recent, they've done marvelous. We have built an oil mill, and instead of giving that to a contractor, it was built by CDC workers themselves.
And where is that?
It is at Ilwani, somewhere out of here.
That's an expansion process carried out by this.
Yes. It's, we're trying to, let me tell you what we're doing now. When we talked of building 5,000 houses or more, we are now at the administration right here in our planning department. We're looking at CDC 25 years from now. Want to see how CDC will look like in 25 years, because we know what it looked like 25 years ago. 25 years ago, CDC, Limbe was a plantation town. It was not an industrial town. The only industry in Limbe was the port, and one used to call breaching industry in Moliwe. We used to make umbrellas and bathroom slippers, okay? There were less than 50% of the houses you see today in Limbe. In fact, between Bota and Mokondange was a long trip. Between Bota and Edinau 30 years ago was a very long trip, an impossible trip. But today, it's half an hour. And so we are looking at the agricultural map of this part of the country, and we are taking our businesses. Industrial agriculture is not an urban activity, it's a rural activity. Therefore, we have, and this is a development corporation, definitely, and we know that agriculture is still one of the main sectors that will survive in this country. And so we are moving towards areas which are more lucrative for our business. And that going there means opening up the place, improving on the economy of the people, giving them more schools, helping them go to school, medical, and everything, water supply and everything. And that's what we're doing. So when we talked of building 5,000 houses, it's a process we're setting up. We've built models of the houses. I think you've seen some. If you've not seen some, you'll be taken to Middle Farm, where some of the houses have been built. We ordered this technology from South Africa. I saw it on the screen, and I sent my colleagues there. They learned the trade, and we have units. And so we are building cheap. We cannot build 5,000 to 6,000 houses in an expensive manner, but we're going to build, let me say, green. We're going to make our houses more environmentally friendly. We're even thinking of how to start earning carbon credits. That is, we're trying to adjust our industrial activity to emit less carbon dioxide. And so internationally, I think we can gain some carbon credits, which will help us improve on the lives of the people. We're also going to get into technology that may permit us use wastes to produce gas and either fuel houses or fuel some plant. We're trying to make CDC...
That is looking into the future. 25 years to come.
No. Well, when I say 25 years to come, yes. What we're trying to do now, you see, take, for example, if you come to a village of 20 people, you want to design a water tank for them. You design a small water tank and go. By the time you finish the project, it has become small for the population. So we try to project. We look at our activities, we look at growth, we look at our demographic expansion, we look at population. We take a lot of things into consideration. Then we say, but how would it look like 25 years to come? And definitely, the population is going to increase. Therefore, the workers or applicants will increase. The need for people to go to school will increase. the need for medical supplies will increase. And so while we are thinking of today, we are thinking more about tomorrow and after tomorrow. And so that's why we are looking at a 25-year scope.
Just how much profits does the CDC make yearly?
That is not information which I can give you offhand. For the simple reason that our main aim is not necessarily making profit, but we must break even and we must expand. Okay? We must plow back. The oil mill we've just built was not from any loan, not bank loan or any financing. We did it with our internally generated funds. So profitability is there, but it is not for me to give you direct figures on how much profit we make. My board members know that, and my titular ministry knows that. I think that's enough.
You've been general manager for more than 10 years. Do you plan to leave office anytime soon? Retire, maybe?
I did not plan to come here, so I did not plan to stay here forever. I, like any other Cameroonian, I'm thinking of my future. My biggest dream, particularly now, is to go home, go to the village, and spend the remaining few years which the good Lord may award me. And so my main action now is insisting on training and training and training. Training my colleagues, my immediate colleagues, and training everybody down the line, because growth is always there. It is easier for any colleague of mine, any of the directors in-house, to come to this seat and run the house than for somebody who will come from very far, who will need to be trained by, or I don't know. Somebody might come from outside and do very well, no problem, but it has never been, I prefer in-house movement. Well, but that is the choice of the...
So is there any succession plan already?
Well, no, the succession possibility is there. The plan, I don't establish it. This is a state-run corporation, and therefore the board and the owners of the corporation know what they're doing with it.
Any actual, facts on how these people are being groomed to be able to succeed you, maybe?
Oh, the mere fact that we have an open door policy, and the mere fact that in a week's time we shall be having a management conference, and the conference we've been having in the form of meetings for the past 12 years, twice a year, the mere fact that they are all informed about what's happening, and the mere fact that we meet every week, the top managers meet every week, is more than in-house training.
Sometime in 2006, March 17, during your New Year, which is Limbe, you announced that you were going to go on retirement in 3 years. What pushed you to make that,
Let me tell you.
To make that public?
Yes. It coincided, if my memory is not failing me, with my 57th birthday. And I said, well, this coincidence is good. I said, well, part of my time now will be spent in preparing this house for an eventual takeover. I think it is all but normal. I am aging out. And if I am asked who in this house can take over from me, I will not waste a split second. I know them all.
Don't you think it was kind of courageous for you to go public about your retirement, given that you had such a big enterprise?
There is nothing cowardly in that. Listen, anybody who is born and who thinks that will not die is not being realistic. And if at my age I'm asked to make a plan for myself, of course, when I look far and I look far enough, I can see my grave. It is normal, it's natural. If other things like accidents or whatever do not happen, everybody will die out someday, definitely. And this should not be a taboo anymore. It shouldn't frighten people. There are other countries where people go and choose their grave sites. I've chosen mine. It's in my village. I know the place where I'll be buried. I look at it every day and laugh over myself. What's wrong in that? I'm sitting in a seat where other people have sat, bigger people have sat. This table is older than I am. This desk you see here. And my dream someday is I should go into some museum somewhere, So we must face the realities in life. We must face the realities. If we don't face it, if I close this door to many people, and I work here alone. If I go, there'll be a problem. But I'm speaking to you now, there's no document in this office which, if, for example, fire picks up this office and consumes this office alone, the corporation will lose nothing other than the furniture in it. Every other piece of information is available somewhere else. And all my collaborators, directors, services, they know enough, if not more than I do, in their own department. I cannot master finances better than my financial director. I will not master farming better than my group managers, the farm managers, okay? So why not?
When you announced your retirement in 2006, many Cameroonians concluded that you were running away from the anti-corruption campaign, running away from checks and balances. Agree or disagree?
I don't know whether you have come here as a spokesman for many Cameroonians.
I'm asking a question.
Or if you have the opinion, running away, you can't run away from checks and balances. You can't run away from checks and balances. This house is audited like any other house. I am a man like any other person, and I may commit management errors like any other person may. But when you tell me that when I announce that I will soon be going, it means I'm running away from checks and balances, I'm sorry. Then you see, we need a change of mentality in this country.
Thank you very much.
We need visionary leaders. We need people who can look forward, people who will accept reality. So I don't know how much I'll be running away from my responsibilities.
Mr. Henry Njalla Quan, thank you. When we come back, we'll talk more about Mr. Henry Njalla Quan, his involvement in football, and the issues of the paramount chieftaincy in Limbe. Stay with us. Limbe is 7 years old without a paramount chief, following the demise of the last one, that is Chief Ferguson Manga Williams. There has been petitions and nominations stemming up from so many people who want to claim legitimacy over the throne. In the following report, we are going to take a look at the political genealogy of the Limbe chiefdom. Limbe became a kingdom in the 18th century and was named Bimbia, an appellation derived from its first chief, who was named Bimbi, son of Ngombe. Ngombe Bimbi was king of Bimbia between 1790 and 1802. King Bimbi left 3 sons, Nako, John King, and Bile. Nako assumed the chief authority on his death. John King waived his rights in favor of King Bile. Chief Bile, whose appellation was misconstrued by British missionaries as Bill, short for Williams, and so henceforth called King William I, succeeded Nako. In 1908, the Germans, in a bid to provide sustainability, appointed Chief John Manga Williams, the grandson of King Bile II, and was later elected the president of the Victoria Area Divisional Council. In 1918, Germany lost World War I, and her colonies became mandates of the League of Nations. The British became new colonial rulers and practiced a policy of indirect rule, entrusting greater powers to Bakweri and Isubu chiefs of Boya and Victoria. Chief Manga Williams of Victoria became one of the 2 representatives for the Nigerian Eastern House of Assembly. After the death of Chief Manga Williams in 1958, the eldest son, Prince Jesco Manga Williams, because of studying in Great Britain at the time, waived his rights in favor of his younger brother, Prince Ferguson Manga Williams. A chieftaincy dispute was later to exist between Prince Ferguson and Mr. Ernest Kofela Martin. A commission was set up, and whose minority report by Commission Chief S.P. Dipoko of Misake recommended that chieftaincy be awarded to Ferguson Manga Williams. In 1983, Parliament of the Republic of Cameroon was moved to change the name Victoria to Limbe. Chief Ferguson Manga Williams died in 2003. Following the death of Chief Ferguson, the throne, mindful of the ignatic seniority tenet of political genealogy of Manga Williams' kinship, is reverted to Prince Jesco Manga Williams, first crown prince, heir presumptive, and eldest son of late Chief John Manga Williams. Prince Jesco Manga Williams, eldest son of John Manga Williams, one of the parties in the contentious Limbe Paramount Chieftaincy stool, released a letter earlier on addressed to the Prime Minister on September 2008. The letter, titled The Paramount Chieftaincy Issue, reaches its finality. Chief Jesco, in order to prove that he had the blue blood, dug historical data which would take him over to the Paramount Chieftaincy of Limbe and that his candidature remained unchallenged. Till date, because of a lot of controversy in the entire Manga Williams family, no one has been crowned as a traditional ruler of Limbe. Welcome back to my one-on-one with the General Manager of the Cameroon Development Corporation, Mr. Henry Njalla Quan. Sir, how bad is it for Limbe to be without a paramount chief?
Well, Limbe may not be the paramount chief for now, but it is not the only situation. There have been other towns whose vacancy had lasted more than 8-9 years. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing is for the royal family to settle down and put up the next of kin to or the successor to the late chief. Biologically speaking, the late chief has children. The royal family speaking, he has an elder brother who also has children. I am not even number 20 to the throne. I have never ever aimed at it. I have never ever dreamt of it.
You never vied for it?
I have never vied for it.
The laws and customs cannot change anything for you to be on the...
Look, let me tell you, I don't have a cat for it, first of all. My lifestyle, you know, there are things which I cannot do, there are things which I can do. Even if I am proposed certain things, I can say no because my lifestyle may not agree with it.
And what kind of lifestyle is that?
No, well, I don't know. The way I live my life. I can't give you my details, but I live my life the way I think I should. Coming about the chieftaincy, I think that people are just giving it a wrong dimension. People should address themselves to the royal family. And the head of the royal family is the Prince, Jesco Manga Williams, the elder brother to the late Chief Manga Williams. What I did and what I'm always doing for the family is my own expression of gratitude to God for having put me where I am, and my nature that I spend, I share what I have, okay? The late Paramount Chief, unfortunately, fell ill, and his health was failing. And I took upon myself, because my uncle, that's my late mother's junior brother, one mother, one father. You know.
Mami Ida?
No. Mama Ida is still there. I'm talking about my late mother, don't bother about the name. I was an elder sister to the late Paramount Chief. One mother, one father. And I did not see why I should not extend assistance to my uncle. And so I did all that I did because at least the family has a standing in this town. And also we could not neglect our chief and my uncle. And so maybe because I played a leading role in the funeral, the rest people think that, you know, that's not it. His son is in town, Prince Eko Williams. That's the chief's first son. He's in town. His elder brother, Prince Jesco, who was our family head, is in town. I think the administration should address itself to him. And, if he endorses any of his children or anybody to be chief, nobody will go against it.
I want to believe that you have a very firm understanding of, you know, the political genealogy of the Limbe chiefdom. Why is it so difficult for Limbe to have, you know, a paramount chief 7 years after the death of?
I don't know. You see, excuse me, I don't occupy myself with things that don't concern me much. My concern about the paramount chief ends where I could be called up like other members of the family to sit and plan for the ceremony or sit and give our backing for the chosen one. Okay? I have not seen the late chief's will. I don't know whether I left the will. I did not have any intimate discussion with the late chief about chieftaincy, unfortunately. Okay? Now, there is need to have a paramount chief in Limbe. I've said it again. The elder brother of the late chief is alive. He's our family head. He's the most senior in the family.
Can he be the chief, Prince Jesco, given that he has blue blood?
Well, excuse me, see, that's not extent to, but for me, by his age, I feel that, you know, as
80?
our father, I don't know the exact number of years, but as our father, he can choose between either his children or his brother's children. Any of them, not me. It is even written, handwritten. He has a copy of my letter that I cannot be an obstacle to chieftaincy. I am not interested in it, and I've never vied for it. He has the letter.
Is his candidature unchallenged?
I cannot challenge his candidature. If he wants to be chief, I mean, he has the right to be. Why not? That one, you see, I think we must speak of things which take Cameroon ahead better than talking of things that can be settled overnight. I think when the...
And as listed for 7 years, not being settled overnight.
When the SDO was being installed a couple of days ago, one of the recommendations of the governor was to solve chieftaincy problem in Limbe. I think it's an easy thing. The problem is that people do not go where the solution to the problems are. People sit away from it and talk, why don't you go to chief? You can go to see Jesco, Prince Jesco. He's there. You can see him, talk to him. He will tell you his opinion. You know, there are times when people just like to create conditions of tension unnecessarily. I don't think that should happen in this.
Let's talk about your, involvement in football. Why are you so passionate about football?
Why are some people so passionate about beer? Why are others so passionate about many other things? It's a game I like.
Simply?
Simply.
You were the one-time president of Victoria United, alias Opopo, a first division team, and after some time you discontinued your contributions, in the team.
Let me tell you, excuse me, let me tell you. Maybe this will be one of the many opportunities which I'd want people to understand. Football is such a popular game, and it comes along with very many popular opinions, and people express themselves left, right, center. I am involved in a lot of philanthropic activity. And my philanthropy extended to football because there were so many young men who, because they played football, at least we needed to feed them and treat them. There are many, many, many football players in this country. I cannot enumerate them. From many teams I've helped. Some I've helped sponsor in schools, in universities. Some I've helped look for jobs for. What are big men today? Okay, I joined Victoria United. I even coined that name for them. I gave them that name. But because of my involvement in helping the youth, I decided to create a sports academy in this town, which bears my name.
Njalla Quan Sports Academy.
Yes. When I created the academy, I told Victoria United executive and supporters, everyone, I said, listen, I've started a football school, and to run a football school, at the same time, must have a football teams in which you test the players to see how good they are performing. And so I gave them a 3-year notice that because of my involvement in my academy, I may not be able to run Victoria United. I gave them 3 good years of notice. During the 3 years, I financed the club. So it was not like getting up in the morning and walking out on them. Their third
Which
year,
means the existence of alias Opopo kind of heavily depended on you.
Well, thanks to the fact that I could. I don't know whether it depended on me or not, but the team is still on, therefore they don't depend on me heavily, okay? But at least when I was
It's not as successful as it could be
well,
if you
no.
were still in charge, or if you were making
success should not be
contributions.
attributed to the person. No, I don't think so. If it is not as successful, it's not because of me. Let me tell you. I financed them for 3 years. The 3rd year, they were in first division. They had to play a crucial match. They had no money. I was no longer in that club. I'm telling you, for 3 years I gave them notice. They had their presence, but I was always giving them money. I gave them money for the last match. They had to go to the north and play. I asked them how much they needed. I gave them cash for it. I don't think they even went. Or maybe they went in a haphazard manner and they dropped. So that's not the problem. That's the the other presidents of that very club have formed other clubs before. There are no stories behind that. What's the problem with me? I don't know. See what the problem is. We are all in town. The town has football teams, as many. There is no reason why people should feel that I must be their president. I cannot be there for life. Even my sports academy tomorrow will be run by someone else, not me. I'm dying out. I'm fading away. The sports academy is not there because I'm alive. It has to keep going on. And I must work for its posterity. I must be willing, I must be ready, maybe my son or my daughter, somebody, or a friend or some relative may pick it up tomorrow and continue. But I must make arrangements for such continuity.
But why is it that it always comes, very close to success, but it has hardly ever qualified to go for, the first division?
Oh, well, I don't know. Sometimes, you see...
What is not being done?
Well, I don't know. That's not... our business of today is not especially on the sports academy. But it takes time. I believe in youth, for example. That's why I have the youngest team in Elite 2, These boys grow up and they're playing in many other teams today. The problem is that, first of all, it's difficult in this our country to run some of those things. To live here and go to play in Marwa, for example, such expensive, so expensive. By the time you get there, the players are all worn out, So that may not be the reason for the team not coming up,
Could it not be that, you
Spain,
want to make decision in place of the
no,
coach, getting too nosy?
Never.
Just like what is happening with the team of the Baltimore Lions.
No. Listen, let me tell you, that's not my style. Once I employ a coach and he takes over the team, we sit and draw a plan. My job is to give him the means to run his plan. I don't interact with players. We are organized. We have an office, we have a treasurer, we have secretaries. Players, what they have as their right, they go to the office and have it. If they have a complaint, the lodge it there, the coach is there. I don't interact with them in that way, Listen, Holland has never won the World Cup. But they offered a party to their team. And they went home. Last week I saw it until I was in Paris. I saw it. Spain, even before winning this World Cup, were number 2 in the world. Why were they classified number 2? They had never won the World Cup. So the only satisfaction must not be going to Division 1. When we get to Division 1, we cannot finance it or we cannot wait, what will happen? I think things should just take their time gradually. Now, I think the football authorities in Cameroon are trying to make things a bit better for clubs to function. Let us see what next season looks like.
You are the head of, the Njalla Quan Sports Academy, training young Cameroonians to be able to represent Cameroon tomorrow in international football competitions. What are your views about how the World Cup went on in South Africa, especially Cameroon's performance?
I don't think Cameroon was ready for the World Cup.
Why?
Well, that's my thoughts. I did not see... Let me tell you honestly. We're taking too many things for granted in this country when it comes to this football thing.
Is that not a reflection of how we take almost everything for granted? A reflection of Cameroon?
Football.
Is that not a reflection of what is happening in the country?
No, I don't know about that. I'm talking about football. It is not because the soil is fertile that you should not weed your farm and think your crops will do well. If the soil is fertile, you must till it. You must work it, prepare it for planting. In 2006 in Yaoundé, at the Congress, I said, what arrangements are being made for our 2010 team? I asked the football officials in Yaoundé.
And what did they say?
Well, the answer is what you see now. Where is the coach for the 2010 team? We have this habit of taking a coach 6 months to the World Cup. That is not how to build a team. Our youth soccer has to perform. We need a good replacement plan. Today it seems that everybody who wants to play in the national team must come from Europe or from outside the country. Does not follow. Look at the Egyptian example. The Egyptian national team is made up of 80% home players.
Homegrown players?
Not homegrown, home players. They're based at home. They don't even go out anywhere. There are 2 or 3 from outside. So if we don't have a strong league anymore, imagine the days when Canon, Union Tonnerre used to represent us in Africa and they used to make Africa vibrate. When the national team was strong, from midfield to defense was basically Canon, one team. When you look at the Spanish team, most of them there came from FC Barcelona or Real Madrid. Okay? So we should not think that we shall create miracles overnight. We need to go back to the drawing board. We need to come up with a plan. I train young footballers. You can look at a footballer who is 10 years old and say, this guy, by 18, he'll be good because of the way he progresses.
Don't you think that if the government, that is the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, is less nosy?
No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't know about that.
A lot better.
I have never, no. I cannot blame, excuse me. It is the government who pays the coach, not the federation. It is the government who pays the coach.
So the coach didn't have any excuses?
I don't know about that. I've never been involved in the process of selecting a coach or whatever. I am not an advisor to the national team. Okay, we are, to that point, to that extent, we are both observers. Okay? No, but to that extent, we are both observers. Yes. So, but what we feel should happen is that we should sit down and take a look at this thing seriously and take some resolutions and apply them. Some 6 weeks or so ago, the Minister of Sports called us up for a forum on football in Yaoundé. We've tried to put in some things. We hope that some of our recommendations will be adhered to. But what we need also to know is that we should avoid this issue of overnight building a team. No, it cannot be. See the Ghanaian team, made up of majority of the boys who won the Junior World Championship. Everybody saw that team coming up. And if that team stays intact, by the next Nations Cup or next World Cup, there'll be a very strong team to reckon with. We should do the same thing. I only hear that there were even quarrels in our camp, whatever. I don't know. I didn't go to South Africa. I decided not to go because, it would not be worth the money spent going to South Africa, staying in a hotel, only to go back home.
Which means you had predicted a failure already? Because if Cameroon was advancing well during the World Cup, would have been worth staying in South Africa?
I don't predict. I'm not the octopus.
You doubted our performance?
I doubted
the Lions' performance?
Yes, because when I looked at their roadmap, I did not see success in it. But I hope that it's a lesson learned.
Now that the coach is gone, Paul Ogun, who should we be looking at?
Well,
a foreign coach or a local one?
To stay. He had a 6-month contract. His contract ended after the World Cup. He's not gone. He's gone because it's ended. Did anybody say they called him back and refused to come? His contract is ended. That one is true. That is the contract he was given.
So if you were to advise, maybe Cameroonians or get a new coach, should we be looking at the Cameroonian or we should still look outside for foreigners?
Why not?
Can Cameroonians really handle?
Why not? Have Cameroonians not done other things worth the praise? Don't we have, although the Cameroon Airlines is not flying now, don't we have Jumbos, pilots, Cameroonian captains who flew the Jumbo jet? Don't we have Cameroonians running and heading companies doing other things? Why do we think that they cannot also be the national coach? Why do we think?
And where will you cast your votes? If the time comes.
I'll go for a Cameroonian.
Who? Proposals, maybe?
No. I'll go for a Cameroonian. And if the authorities want me to run a list, I will. And give them names. That's true. Tokoto Jean-Pierre, for example. Is he not a good Cameroonian?
Of course he is.
Can't he coach Cameroon national team?
He can. He has the capacity.
So what's the problem?
Is that your choice?
No, let me tell you, my choice now is palm trees and bananas. That's the work I've been given to do. I'm doing that. I think the others have that responsibility. Let them take up their responsibility.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We thank you for watching. Look forward to more interesting editions of Straight Talk on STV. Goodbye from Limbe.